Issa Amro is a Palestinian Affairs analyst and a human rights advocate. He joins us now from Hebron in the occupied West Bank. Really good to have you with us, Issa. As we've been discussing with our correspondent in Jenin, residents of the refugee camp are now returning to the town, seeing scenes of devastation. Can I just get your reaction to the conclusion of Israel's two-day raid on Jenin?
First, I want to be clear that Israel is not defending itself, and Israel is not fighting violence. Israel is trying to defend its apartheid, its occupation, and is trying to cover the continuous violence of the Israeli settlers who are attacking Palestinian villages, Palestinian communities every day. What happened in Jenin is an example of the Israeli supremacy, the Israeli apartheid, and the Israeli continuous catastrophe and Nakba against the Palestinian people. From the result of this raid and assault on civilians, you can see that the Israeli military destroyed roads, cut trees, destroyed and demolished parts of the only theater in Jenin. You can see that the water supplies, the electricity grid. So mainly the attack was on civilian properties, in civilian target, and Israel never ever committed to the role of engagement according to the international law, and Israel violated the international law in Jenin. You can see cars smashed, whole neighborhoods destroyed, damaged completely. This is not about the defense. It's assault. It's attacks from Israel on civilians, and the sole purpose of this kind of operations and attacks and assaults on Palestinians is to kill the spirit of Palestinians to ask for freedom and justice and equality. I want to remind all the world that Palestinians live under occupation, Palestinians live under suppression, Palestinians live without basic human rights. As Palestinians, we live under the Israeli military law without any basic human rights, and we can't at all decide about to change this without asking the international community to intervene and make Israel accountable for its violence and for its kind of war crimes and ethnic cleansing.
Yes, as we know, these raids on Jenin and other areas in the north of the West Bank have really began in March 2022. Israeli Defense Forces claim that they're targeting militants, but as you say, civilian infrastructure seems to be bearing the brunt of Israel's raids. The United Nations has called on Israel to abide by international humanitarian law, but as we know, Israel continues to defy those international norms. What more, in your view, does the international community need to do in order to, persuade Israel to stop their deadly raids?
Something important. Israel is claiming that they are fighting Palestinian fighters in Jenin. So I want to give this to all the people who are watching us. If we remove Jenin from the map, Jenin doesn't exist at all. Will Israelis give us rights as Palestinians? Will Israel end the Israeli occupation and apartheid? If we remove Gaza as well, will Israel give us rights as Palestinians? The problem is Israel. The problem is the Israeli military, the Israeli supremacy, the Israeli apartheid, the Israeli separation and segregation and land theft, house demolition, settler violence these days. The Israeli fascist Israeli government now, they want to really escape from their internal conflict and internal disagreement to try to use the Palestinians as a kind of an object to win public opinion in Israel. This is the current Israeli government. What the international community should do, they should make Israel accountable according to the international law. They should make Israeli occupation apartheid costly. All the international law mechanism should be implemented on Israel. Netanyahu must be summoned to the International Criminal Court, as Putin was summoned and became wanted to the International Criminal Court. Netanyahu is a bigger and criminal, and all the Israeli leaders are criminals, and they should be accountable according to the international law mechanism and standards. We, the Palestinians, as the Ukrainians, deserve equality, justice, and freedom, and deserve to live without any kind of double standard from the international community. Israel is a war criminal and it's apartheid and should be accountable according to the international mechanism and make the occupation and this kind of raids costly on Israel. And we ask all the people on earth to show their solidarity to Palestinians, support the Palestinian people who are living in the camp. They are living in a camp because they are refugees who were expelled from their land 1948. So we should solve the problem of the Palestinian refugees and make it costly on Israel to really fulfill its commitment to the international law. Something else the international community should do is to level up the Palestinians. So to give them more voice, to give them more economical opportunities and all kind of, you can say, partnership and engagement with the Palestinian people, so the Palestinian people will be able to resist the occupation and will be able to express their opinion against the occupation and apartheid and expose it for sure.
Okay, Issa Amro, we will have to leave it there, but thanks so much for sharing your thoughts with us here on TRT World.